Continuing with Numbers 4:22. And the Lord spoke to Moshe, saying, Take also the sum of the sons of Gershon by the house of their fathers, by their families, from 30 years old and upward, until 50 years old shalt thou number them, all that enter in to perform the service, to do the work in the tent of meeting. This is the service of the families of the Gershonite, both for serving and for carrying. And they shall bear the curtains of the tabernacle and the tent of meeting, its coverings, and the covering of the tokach skins that is upon it, and the screen for the door of the tent of meeting, and the hangings of the court, and the screen for the door of the gate of the court, which is by the tabernacle and by the altar round about, and their cords, and all the instruments of their service, and all that is made for them. So shall they serve. By the order of Aaron and his sons shall be all the service of the sons of the Gershoni, and all their burdens, and in all their service. And you shall appoint to them in charge of all their burden. This is the service of the families of the sons of the Gershon in the tent of meeting, and their charge shall be under the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aaron the priest. As for the sons of Merari, thou shalt number them after their families, by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward to 50 years old shalt thou number them. Everyone that enters into the service to do the work of the tent of meeting, and this is the charge of their burdens, according to all their service in the tent of meeting. The boards of the tabernacle and its bars, and its pillars, and its sockets, and the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pegs, and the cords, and all their instruments, and with all their service. And by name you shall reckon the instruments of the charge of their burden. This is the service of the families of the sons of Merari, according to all their service in the tent of meeting, under the hand of Ithamar the son of Aaron the priest. And Moshe and Aaron and the chiefs of the congregation numbered the sons of the Kehati after their families, and after the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward to 50 years old. Every one that enters into the service for work in the tent of meeting, and those that were numbered of them by their families, were 2,750. These were they that were numbered from the families of the Kehati, all that might do service in the tent of meeting, whom Moshe and Aaron did number according to the commandment of the Lord by the hand of Moshe. And those that were numbered of the sons of Gershon throughout their families, by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, 50 years to 50 years old, every one that enters into the service for work in the tent of meeting, even those that were numbered of them by their families, by the house of their fathers, were 2,630. These are they that were numbered of the families of the sons of Gershon, of all that might do service in the tent of meeting, whom Moshe and Aaron did number according to the commandment of the Lord. And those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari by their families, by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward to 50 years old, everyone that enters into the service for work in the tent of meeting, even those that were numbered of them after their families, were 3,200. These were they that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari, whom Moshe and Aaron numbered according to the word of the Lord by the hand of Moshe. All those that were numbered of the Levites, whom Moshe and Aaron and the chiefs of Israel numbered after their families, and after the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward to 50 years old, everyone that came to do the service of the ministry and the service of carrying the tent of meeting, those that were numbered of them were 8,580. According to the commandment of the Lord, they were numbered by the hand of Moshe, everyone according to his service and according to his burden. Thus were they numbered, as the Lord commanded Moshe. And the Lord spoke to Moshe, saying, Command the children of Israel that they put out of the camp everyone with zarat, and everyone that has an issue, and whoever is defiled by the dead, both male and female shall you put out. Outside the camp shall you put them, that they defile not their camp, in the midst of which I dwell. And the children of Israel did so, and put them outside the camp. As the Lord spoke to Moshe, so did the children of Israel. And the Lord spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, when a man or a woman shall commit any sin that men commit, to do a trespass against the Lord, that person be guilty, then they shall confess their sin which they have done, and he shall make a restitution for his trespass in full, and add to it its fifth part, and give it to him against whom he has trespassed. But if the man have no kinsman to whom restitution may be made for the trespass, let the trespass which is recompensed to the Lord be the priest's, besides the ram of the atonement, whereby atonement shall be made for him. And every offering of all the holy things of the children of Israel which they bring to the priest shall be his, and every man's hallowed thing shall be his. Whatever any man gives the priest, it shall be his. And the Lord spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, If any man's wife go aside, commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and she be undetected, and she be defiled, and there's no witness against her, nor is she taken in the act, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled, then shall the man bring his wife to the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense on it, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. And the priest shall bring it her near, and set her before the Lord. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is on the floor of the tabernacle shall the priest take, and put it into the water. And the priest shall set the woman before the Lord, and loosen the hair of the woman's head, and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the meal offering of jealousy. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causes the curse. And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say to the woman, If no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causes the curse. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee other than thy husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and the priest shall say to the woman, The Lord make thee a curse and an oath among thy people. And when the Lord makes thy thigh to fall away, and thy belly to swell, and this water that causes a curse shall go into thy bowels, to make thy belly to swell, and thy thigh to fall away. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with bitter water. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causes the curse. And the water that causes the curse shall enter into her, and become bitter. And then the priest shall take the meal offering of jealousy out of the woman's hand, and shall wave the offering before the Lord, and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take a handful of the offering, the memorial part of it, and burn it on the altar. And afterward shall cause the woman to drink the water. And when he has made her drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled, and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causes the curse shall enter into her, and it become bitter. Her belly shall swell, and her thighs shall fall away, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free, and shall conceive seed. This is the Torah of jealousies, when a wife goes aside to another instead of her husband, and is defiled, or when the spirit of jealousy becomes upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and set the woman before the Lord. The priest shall execute upon her all this Torah. Then shall the man be guiltless of iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. And the Lord spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, When either man or woman shall pronounce a special vow of Nazir to separate themselves to the Lord, he shall abstain from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine or vinegar of strong drink, nor shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried. All the days of his abstinence shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, from the kernels even to the husk. All the days of the vow of his separation there shall be no razor come up on his head until the days are fulfilled during which he separates himself to the Lord. He shall be holy, and let the locks of his head grow. And the days that he separates himself to the Lord shall come at no dead body. He shall come at no dead body. He shall not make himself unclean for his father or for his mother, for his brother or for his sister when they die, because the crown of his God is upon his head. All the days of his separation he is holy to the Lord. And if any man die very suddenly by him, and he has defiled the head of his consecration, Then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing, and on the 7th day he shall shave it. And on the 8th day he shall bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons to the priest to the door of the tent of meeting. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, the other for a burnt offering, and make atonement for him, for that he sinned by the dead, and shall hallow his head that same day. And he shall consecrate to the Lord the days of his abstinence, and shall bring a lamb of the first year for a guilt offering. And the days that were before shall be lost, because his separation was defiled. And this is the Torah of the Nazir. When the days of his separation are fulfilled, he shall be brought to the door of the tent of meeting, and he shall offer his offering to the Lord, one lamb of the first year without blemish for a burnt offering, and 1 ewe lamb of the first year without blemish for a sin offering, and 1 ram without blemish for a peace offering, and a basket of unleavened bread, cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, and wafers of unleavened bread anointed with oil, and their meal offering and their drink offerings. And the priest shall bring them before the Lord, and shall offer his sin offering and his burnt offering, and he shall offer the ram for sacrifice of peace offering to the Lord, with the basket of unleavened bread. The priest shall offer also his meal offering and his drink offering. And the Nazir shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tent of meeting, and shall take the hair of the head of his separation and put it in the fire which is under the sacrifice of the peace offering. And the priest shall take the boiled shoulder of the ram, and 1 unleavened cake out of the basket, and 1 unleavened wafer, and shall put them upon the hands of the Nazir after the hair of his separation is shaved, and the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. And this is for the Lord. This is holy for the priest, with the waved breast and the heaved shoulder. And after that the Nazir may drink wine. This is the Torah of the Nazir who has vowed, and is offering to the Lord for a separation besides that which his means allow. According to the vow which he has vowed, so must he do besides the Torah of his abstinence. That's Numbers up to 6:22.